Hmm. Good morning. Title for today: Deep Introspection about Separation and Unity. Strange dreams trigger contemplative meditations. This is how my day has started. In the dream, I kept losing parts of myself, or as it seemed, people I love. In the meditation, I had the sense that those fragments were actually being reclaimed by my conscious choice. Do we each have the opportunity at this time to recall the aspects of our self that have seemed to be scattered during our journey into the physical creation that makes separation seem real? I suppose, in a sense, that this dream is not something that I really wanted. It felt like a nightmare when I woke up. I actually slept longer than I have for a while. Of course, the last couple of nights I only got about 3 hours of sleep, and workshops can be very draining in the sense that there's an awful lot of emotional energy expended because of discovery and because of what people go through in the workshops. All the unconscious parts of our lives have a tendency to come to the surface to be healed. And it's interesting because of all the workshops I've ever done, I had yesterday the experience of unity unlike anything that I can remember experiencing in the past. I mean, during one aspect of the workshop, I had this sense for a fairly long, extended period of time of being connected with my God self and of being able to connect with everyone in the room at a very deep level that felt absolutely wonderful. The tears flowed for however long that exercise lasted, which I assume was at least an hour, maybe a little bit longer. In any case, to wake up with a dream of feeling like I was losing my friends seemed almost, it was crazy because I went to bed feeling such connection, and I woke up feeling such disconnection. So I didn't know what it meant as I hit the meditation room or went into the meditation room this morning. For about probably 15 minutes to a half an hour, I laid in bed before I even went to the meditation room, just pondering the dream. Why am I losing all these people that I love? We were coming out of all places, I had the sense that it was Yankee Stadium in the Bronx in New York City. And it was my brothers were there, and my first wife and two children. Uh, and one by one, they kept disappearing. They kept until I was there by myself in the city, trying to find my way back to my car and wondering where all these parts of me, all my friends and family, had disappeared to. And I still can't say that I've made 100% sense out of it, but as I went to the meditation room, for the first time, I had the sense that they were parts of me, that they weren't really family. They were actually parts of myself that I had left in the trip from the ballpark to my car, which is what it seemed like it was in the dream. I had left first one brother, then the second brother, and then finally my wife and daughter, and last my son. And I have, I had the sense that this is like a metaphor for our journey in life. And I grant you that that's a rationalization, but then are dreams rational? And I'm trying to make the dream rational. And I do that. Maybe you don't, but I do. I try to make sense out of everything. I've done that my whole life. And sometimes things don't make sense, especially in dreams. Especially. I mean, I've had dreams that nothing seemed to connect with anything else. And isn't that how life sometimes seems in this physical plane? That nothing connects with anything else, that nothing makes sense, that it seems like we've entered a world of absolute insanity. One of the things that comes to mind, again, from the dream, is that each time I lost somebody, not the first time, but each additional time, it was because I was looking for the part that I was lost, and then I lost something else. Until one by one, everything disappeared. And I was by myself. But I kept trying in the dream. I kept trying to find first the one brother, then the second brother, then my wife, then my daughter, finally my son. Trying to find, where'd you go? Where'd you disappear? I was even picking up garbage containers and shaking them to try to see if they were hiding inside of the trash container outside the ballpark. And I was in an area that I didn't recognize. I mean, I know where Yankee Stadium is, and if that was the setting, it's in the Bronx. I wouldn't want to get lost in the Bronx. Or at least I wouldn't want to get lost in the Bronx that I remember growing up. It was like a war zone at some points. It was not pretty. Anyway. There is unity that's happening. And I was so aware of that in the workshop. As so many things were coming together, not just for me. I mean, so many people commented that they were having experiences unlike any that they had had previously. And I'm talking about people that have done the workshop before, people that were there to assist and help Margie in the co-facilitation and holding the energy and helping the participants get through their process. And workshops are always a process, and in some respects, life is a process. And I've continued the process this morning with the strange dream and with the meditation. And I want to encourage you that there's going to be a lot of things, especially over the next not very long a period of time, I don't have the sense. But then again, what is time? We're going to have the sense of the parts of ourselves that we've lost. It's going to be triggered by things that seem very real. Situations and experiences that come up for us in our lifetimes, in our little personal dramas. And we're going to be given the opportunity, if we choose it, to find those fragments. If you've ever studied dream interpretation, you know that every character in the dream is you, or an aspect of your own being, of your own self. I mean, that's standard, to me, that's standard dream interpretation, standard psychology, if you will. And I encourage you as I encourage myself to consciously make the decision that you're going to invite back every aspect that you've lost on this incredible journey of human experience. And as we do, I have the sense that we will experience what I experienced and what many of us experienced at the workshop yesterday. When I was describing it afterwards, I said it was, sometimes I felt the sense that I was giving, that the energy of God or unconditional love was just flowing out from me to each person in the room. And other times I did have the sense that I was also receiving from some of the others in the room. But yet another sense, I had the awareness that it was even beyond giving and receiving. There was just simply a oneness that I was experiencing, and it was delicious. I mean, it was so wonderfully amazing to feel so connected at a deeper level, at a soul level, with all of these people in the workshop. And there were, 25 of us or something like that. It was absolutely a tremendous weekend for me, even with the fact that my neighbor across the street, whom I really don't know on an intimate level, except to say hi once in a while and maybe exchange a little bit of small talk, but then not even that very much, who decided apparently to take a gun and shoot himself in the head. And he was still alive when they took him out, but he didn't survive. He was on life support for a short time. And it was his dog that alerted the neighborhood to the fact that something was wrong. The dog kept getting the neighbor's attention and going back and sitting by the truck. He shot himself in the truck in front of his house. And I met his mom last night and some of his family, not really in detail, but they were there at the house gathering some of his personal belongings. He was just a young man. He was not an old man. He was a young fellow that, as I understand it, was really, really discouraged with his life. He felt like the rat race was just overwhelming for him, from some of the things that some of the neighbors said and some of the things that I gleaned from hearing other people's conversation or what they described to me personally. In any case, I realized that these pressures of the changes that are upon us are being felt on many levels by many people. You're probably experiencing it yourself to some degree or another. You may feel disconnected. You may feel alienated. You may feel overwhelmed. I'm experiencing those feelings too, in dreams or in my circumstantial reality. And I say circumstantial because it is the drama that surrounds my life too. And these dramas are playing out. They're reaching a crescendo. They're reaching a climax. And some will choose to go to another dimension to continue the process, however that happens there. And others of us will choose to stay here and integrate all of the parts that we feel we've lost, that make our life seem unmanageable and create a sense of discontent. Others will battle parts of ourselves, glad they're gone, not wanting them back. I suspect that the people that do that aren't realizing the gift in each relationship that we've been given. I speak to myself for some of the relationships that I might not want to hang on to, that my memories aren't as wonderful as I'd like them to be. But we have the opportunity to heal. That's what the workshops are all about. It's healing ourselves, feeling the feelings that we felt in the times that we've had great drama going on in our lives. To heal those feelings and to call back the love that we are, that got covered up with the anger and the hurts and the sadness and the grief of all the loss, that each one of us experiences in human life. We're in an amazing period of time when the energies, all of the underworlds, if you will, and all of the overworlds are coming together in an amazing marriage. I don't even like using that word because it has such bad and good connotations, but more bad sometimes than good. But anyway, I don't want to go there. Not today. But I want to invite you to find your heart, to know that your heart has the tremendous capacity to transform all of the negative experiences into something wonderful and something beautiful, something good. But it's a conscious choice. You're making your own experience make sense by infusing it with love, with acceptance, with wisdom, with all of the attributes that have always been yours. Whether you've recognized them or not, they've always been yours. And you can heal them, but it's a conscious choice. The energies are here, present with us. The angelic realm is here, present with us. God is here with us. Beyond your religions, beyond your training, beyond your patterning and conditioning, beyond all your habits that you've developed, there is a power that's here presently that can set us all free. We're moving from separation to unity, but many people are going to be more aware of the separation than ever before. But it's a precursor. It's a precursor to unity, because most of us have been so unconscious we didn't even realize how separated we were from ourselves, from God, and from each other. That's changing rapidly. We're in that window of time, or more precisely, that window of timelessness, where we have the opportunity to become whole. I encourage you to take that opportunity and make the conscious choices necessary to heal yourself. And in so doing, we each help others to heal. I love you this morning. I hope that some of this rambling makes sense to somebody. Thank you for listening. Namaste.